In the 2011 general election, NRM presidential candidate and incumbent president Yoweri Museveni garnered over 68% of the vote against his closest challenger, Dr. Kizza Besigye's 26%. President Museveni won his fourth elective term largely on the basis of promises laid out in his manifesto. Some of the highlights of the 246-page document include job creation, fighting corruption, effective service delivery, consolidation of the rule of law, the commercialization of agriculture, developing the oil and gas sector, improving infrastructure, and the human resource for prosperity for all. But 5 years down the road, and on the heels of yet another election, has the NRM delivered on these promises to voters?
A manifesto is like a wish list. You are just manifesting what you wish to do for the people, for the country. And since it is a document intended for political influence, you do not have to tell the truth, especially in these banana republics of ours. So, of course, they came up with a manifesto, and they promised very many things. They have tried to do some, others in the pipeline, others are still in the plans. So I don't think that there is any regime in Africa actually which has fulfilled the manifesto it promised the people.
Analysts say NRM's record in the last 5 years is a mixed bag of some successes as well as failure or slow implementation.
Government that has delivered on its manifesto, because the manifesto really promises heaven on earth, then wouldn't be a least developed country. Uganda is a least developed country. Its GDP is about $24 billion US dollars, which is less than a company in USA like Google or Facebook. In terms of human development, we still have a low technology base. If at all we can talk about a technology base, definitely we are behind in that respect. We are behind on delivering on child mortality or mortality of mothers giving birth. When you look at the human development indicators, which is the most important, that is the quality of life. Our quality of life is still low in Uganda. Therefore, most of our politicians have not delivered on their manifestos.
On the economy, the NRM promised to raise growth figures, fully fund the national budget, and also increase tax revenues. Dr. Fred Muhumuza, who is an economist, says NRM may have set unrealistic targets on how much they could do in the face of a failing global economy.
Seem not to have read the global signs and the domestic signs and re-engineer their manifesto or the implementation of the manifesto towards the areas that were supposed to cause the growth. And let's not forget, this is the period we were working with the National Development Plan 1. And the National Development Plan 1 at least had a very good illustration of where you would expect the growth to come from. They used the egg and you identify that the growth was going to come from agriculture, from tourism, from things like industry. Now you have other things that support those. That's why you have energy and infrastructure, roads and all those kinds of things. They are not the primary sources of growth. They facilitate the growth drivers. So we seem to have decided to invest in the facilitators rather than the causers of growth.
With just 3 months to the 2016 presidential election, the NRM will have to convince voters that what has not been delivered is work in progress as the party makes new promises. Raymond Mujuni, NTV.